peace. I'm on that early adventure in the rising. I just want to come and share a brief message and encourage you all to stay focused, keep your head up, breathe, speak your truth, walk in your truth unapologetically, and forget them haters, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but all jokes aside, I just want to share a brief message before I get to my location. But this is something that I came across briefly, a video, or it just popped up on my feed, and it was talking about how you have to be very cautious of how other kids prey on other kids. What does that mean? Simply put, a lot of us grew up in environments where, again, we were exposed to a lot of things young. We were exposed to a lot of whether things sexually. We were exposed to people who preyed on us when it even came to like adults. But I think one thing that is most vital that we forget is that there are kids that prey on other kids. And I'm speaking in the spiritual sense, because there are kids who are battling something, whether it's trauma or so forth, and you'll see this demonstrated when they're experiencing an exchange with another child. Like, for instance, it's completely different if you go to an environment or a place that has more resources, let's say, of people who are, and this is not always the case, but this is just from my experience. Like, I travel somewhere and go somewhere that, let's say my princess just plays at a park or something, and usually, not usually, but again, this is just demographics, depending on what that child or children has experienced. Because again, when I say children prey on other kids, there is a thing where you don't ever know what that child has been experienced to or exposed to. So this definitely for my guardians, or parents, whatever. You ever been around and you just are so cautious of, and even kids themselves pick up on this, and they're just as in tune and as aware and gifted as we are. We have just been so far away from said gifts, and we have, as we become more in tune and so forth. Again, a little girl has an intuition, if not heightened just as much as a mother. So again, just as a little boy, his awareness and so forth. But again, if we're not taught these things very young, then we are somehow, some way, when we are little kids, a lot of us can succumb to some type of abuse early, even by other little kids. Be exposed to stuff young because you don't know. Again, going back to the park thing, before I get into other things deeply, is that you can go to certain demographics, and let's say, again, I know how I grew up, and and I know certain kids are just naturally more aggressive than other kids, and the reason being is because a lot of them probably have dealt with abuse, or a lot of them have been verbally, physically abused, and their sense of freedom and feeling liberated is when they're at the park, recess or something. And just on my experience alone, my first kiss was at a park at school in the 2nd grade. What the fuck am I doing that? How would I know to do that? And it wasn't even my, how you playing around like, oh, y'all should have your first kiss. And look, before y'all jump and be like, oh my God, man, it ain't even that deep. Boy, it is that deep. It is that deep when you don't know if that child or somebody has been sexually abused, molested, and then they expose your child to this behavior. I know of stories when people have went through experiences as such, and their first exchange was probably with someone of the same, if you want to use the term, gender, or just girl on girl, boy on boy, and this is never talked about. So again, like, at the parks and stuff, I'm very much aware, because you don't know what's going on in that tunnel. You don't know everything. You don't know if a little boy we think should be cute and stuff like that. Oh, you just being overprotective as a father, and oh man, live a little. I am living. But we have to be very much aware, more conscious how we raise, especially our daughters, and be very much aware of how in these moments now where there are, dark forces at play, but just as well as that, the light is here. Now, I'm not going to give energy to the powers that were, because we are the powers that be, and that's why I speak of these things, because currently it's about bringing more awareness to the fact of there are kids that prey on other kids in all ages, because you don't know what that child has been exposed to. You don't know what that child has been, and I know personally of people who have, they was exposed to, pea corn. If because I don't know if I'll be flagged for that. Those at PORN, orange. They was exposed to this real young. I myself was exposed to, it played a very major part on my subconscious mind, being exposed to sex early, hearing the noises. So then, let's say I heard it on someone's phone. That comes back. And you're curious. Your mind is like, ooh, I heard this before. What is those sounds? And you just never know what type of door or portal that opens. So again, you got to watch and be aware of the behavior patterns that a lot of these kids, when you think they cannot prey on your kids. That's mothers I know that they don't let their kids touch everybody. And I get it. Because honestly, I can feel it. And then even, kids, if you observe them enough, those that are really in tune, they do not go up to every kid. They don't interact with every child. They don't interact with every adult. Because they can feel the energy. Their energy speaks. And we were taught that young, don't just go up to anybody. Again, even more awareness. You don't know. There are registered, what they call sex offenders out here. Everywhere. Both women and men. And if you're not very aware of that, you can actually look online. So, I just wanted to share that brief message. Be very aware, even wherever you go with your kids. I remember just, how you go in the grocery store or whatever, and then I don't know what it is with some elderly ladies. They just like to think that they can just come up and touch your kids, or when you have a baby. And why y'all let people do that? That is not cool to me. I don't know where your hands been. I don't see purposely. People go to the bathroom. I know a lot of elders or people. It's not all of them, but I'm just calling out people to go right to the bathroom and don't even wash their hands. I mean, what kind of... look, man, hey, it's just what it is. I ain't finna let you touch me, let alone my child. You don't even wash your hands. That already tell me what type of energy and just dirtiness ain't nothing godliness about it. Nah, but for real though, be very aware, because again, you don't know what these kids have been exposed to, introducing your child to. None of that. You don't know. You don't know what they've been exposed to, and you're sitting here taking this as a joke. And so, yeah, man, I just wanted to share that briefly with y'all, because you don't know what they've been exposed to. And yes, it's not just adults that prey on kids. I had to tell y'all about that, because there are women, men, and kids that do this. It is not a game, because there is so much, again, we don't even know, or just ignore so much. And these, we're moving into a newer space and being more aware. Our gifts are heightening. It's important to be very, very aware of what's going on right now, and even more awareness on how we are establishing and encouraging more of a good more of good character, morality, integrity. Let them folks be upset and mad and whatever just because you not, wanting to, oh, you don't gotta touch my baby. We don't. That's something I had to learn, bro. I don't even like other people touching me like that because I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive and very aware, even when it comes to my energy and so forth. So, yeah, man, like, y'all stay focused and realize, like, there are kids too. People don't even realize certain behaviors that they don't picked up, behavior patterns. So y'all stay focused and, take care of yourself. That's just my rising message. I love you. Take care of yourself. Love you for you. Remember, your first and last love is self-love. Your first and everything begins with you. We were not taught this. So take care. Peace and blessings. Shalom.